alcohol makes you lonely. You can go from being very social or sociable and have lots of friends to just being very insular. If you're an alcoholic or a heavy drinker, you'll see this happening really, because you tend to isolate yourself. I even did that when I was on the way out the Met really. I was drinking too much and I sort of kept away from people. Didn't go to any do's or anything like that, any social events and whatnot. When I retired, it was even worse really. I moved up back in the northeast, and that wasn't a good move. I kept myself to myself, and then I split with my wife. And I was a lonely figure really. Because the alcohol controlled me, I didn't feel like going out anywhere. I used to get invited to some do's and things and think, oh, I can't go there because I need a drink before I get there. That sort of thing. And it becomes your friend and your lover and your confidant, the alcohol. And all you want to do is sit on your own. Be by yourself. You get your supply and then we're going to shops and being a little bit edgy and feel a bit faint, all this sort of thing, paranoid and full of anxiety. And getting home and then unlocking the door and think, wow, I'm back in. But what are you back into? You're back into a lonely apartment. And all you've got really is your cans of beer and yourself. Gives you too much time to think as well. And then you become a shadow of your former self. People try to ring you and you ignore all the calls. People will try and get you out and about, but you don't want to. You feel too weak, you feel too down. It's a massive depressant, alcohol, It lifts you up initially, and then it's a big, massive fall. And the older you get, the more alcohol you're drinking, basically, the harder the fall, and the come down is really bad. And for me, the withdrawal was horrendous. And you never really get a break from it, and you become, I suppose, desensitized to life in a way. And you don't live. You barely exist when you're drinking, because all you're thinking about is the next drink, and you're planning the next drink. You're drinking. You're trying to create this world where you're feeling a bit better. Every night for years, I used to have a few drinks and think it'll be better in the morning, but it never was. And it gets to the point of alcohol dependence or active addiction, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you need a drink. Just get you to the loo or get into the shower, and then it gets worse and worse. It goes on and on and on. And the problem with it is, even when you get to the point where you can stop, then you've got this danger of relapse, you see. And I'm trying to convey this message to people that you've got to have this barrier. I use it really with two hands. This is where you are when you promise yourself you're not going to have a drink, yeah? This is where the drinking starts. You might start the day here. And then as time goes on through the day, you feel a little bit better. So you think, oh, I might just think about a drink. But you think, no, I'm not going to have a drink because I felt terrible last night. Yeah? And then something might happen. Bit of grief, bit of tension, bit of an argument somewhere, and it gets closer and closer, and you're feeling a bit peed off with life. And, you think, no, God, I've got financial issues. I can't be bothered. You even look at the post, or the bills are increasing. And then the two come closer and closer and closer, and then you think, you're still trying to have a drink. Gets to 6 o'clock, and then somebody rings you up and said, do you want to have a drink? And you think, oh, go on then. Or you just have one in the house, and you'll break that alcohol-free time, and you become there. And when you get to there, you start drinking again, and you've relapsed terribly. This is where you've got to keep these two things apart as much as you can. You've got to be strong here, because this here will take you down faster than Snowford Dyke. Yeah? So you need to keep these two things apart. Otherwise, you'll become like that, and you'll be drinking all the time, and be back to loneliness. And that is the killer for me, relapse, because every time you relapse, you get worse, because it's called the kindling effect. And your body can't take it. Psychologically, you can't take it. You feel guilt, you feel remorse, you feel disenchanted. You'll not feel part of life again. You keep trying to have this one drink. You keep trying to be a social drinker, but it's not going to happen. You've got to wise up to things and think, right, I can't do it. It's a bit like being allergic to something, isn't it? Or even touching something. You don't put your hand in the fire twice, do you? That's what you're doing with alcohol. When you become dependent, I'm not about social drinking here, I'm about dependent people, or people who are drinking every day. You know, they're rushing home from work. The first thing I want to do is open a bottle of wine and have a can of beer. You're starting to be dependent then, aren't you? And people you speak to will say, oh, I know you're off the drink, but I only have 5, I only have 6, and they'll justify their drinking. But really, they're slipping into alcohol dependence. It's amazing how many people between the ages of 50 and 60 contact me and say, I've got problems, I've got issues, I'm drinking too much, I'm going to the pub, I'm losing out on work, wife's giving me a bit of earache, the kids aren't speaking to me, all these sort of things, they're all linked to alcohol. Somebody's had an accident, somebody's been done for drink drive, somebody's been assaulted, or somebody's assaulted somebody else, whatever. It's all linked to alcohol. And this is the problem, you see. You've got to keep these two things apart. I'm covering a couple of subjects here, the loneliness and this. This here will keep you to a level where you can exist without alcohol. As soon as you get close to that, it's danger time. You've got to get out of that. You've got to push back. You've got to think, well, I've been talking to a few people recently, you've got to get to the point where, in order to prevent relapse, think back to how you felt at your worst time after you've had a big session. How bad did you feel? What were the withdrawals like? Did you feel nauseous? Had you made a mistake? Had you texted somebody the wrong thing? Had you spoken to somebody out of turn? Had you done something really ridiculous, stupid? Had you been arrested? All these sort of things can happen. Because there will be a point, at a certain point in your life, you think, God, I wish I hadn't done that. It was drink that drove me to that. It wasn't really you did it, but the drink, well, it just lowers your inhibitions, doesn't it? So you become stupid. Even the most sensible, intelligent, articulate of people become crazy in drink. I was in the Met Police. The amount of people we used to arrest for drunken disorder, you wouldn't believe, who, when they're sobered up, were perfectly affable people. Perfectly nice. Good jobs, good careers. They weren't dishonest. They just got out of control with their drink. And it's so normalised that so many people just say, oh, just brush it off. Oh, he's drinking quite a bit, he'll be all right, he's just having a good night. That's not what's happening. It's ruining people's lives. The NHS is snowed under because of it. That's another debate, isn't it? Got a lot of suicides because of it as well. Because it's a depressant. That's what it is. It lifts you up a little bit. Next day it's bang, you're back to square one again. And the relapse, you've got to try and prevent that, because I'm telling you now, I know it sounds a bit colloquial, lad, but I know it will ruin you. Because it just about ruined me. I think I was probably weeks, if not days, of passing away because of my symptoms, horrendous symptoms I had. I'll not list them here, but it can cause heart attacks as well, and strokes and cancers, and there's a whole list of complications which will come from alcohol usage, especially if you're doing that a little bit too much. And once you start doing that a little bit too much, then it can lead to dependence, and there's certain levels of dependence as well. It takes a lot of your cash away as well. It takes a lot of your happiness away. You look bloated, you feel rough, your skin's not good, you're not eat properly, you're not drinking enough water, you're not sleep properly as well, you know, all these sort of things. So if you want to progress your life to a good level, I would say, you want to live a reasonable life, long life, then you've got to stop the alcohol. It's as simple as that. There's no halfway house once you become a dependent. You can't just say, right, I'm dependent, I'm just going to have a social drink, because it's not going to happen, because you get drawn back into it. It's 100% success rate of drawing you back in when you've been off for a while. If you enjoy the channel or you benefit from it, then please subscribe and share it. And there's a few links in there to an ebook and one-to-one mentoring that I'm doing, which is proven quite useful, very useful for a lot of people. And I'll speak to you all very soon. And one other thing, if you've got any particular subjects you want to talk about, then just get in touch. I'll speak to you soon.